Sawadika. I'm PannyPan, and just before Christmas, Bangkok said goodbye to one of its most loved yearly traditions, the Thai Red Cross Fair 2025 at Lumphini Park. For 11 days, from the 11th to the 21st of December, this peaceful, green space in the middle of the city turned into a huge charity fair, raising funds to support hospitals, blood services, and people in need across Thailand. This video is a little retrospective, a walk back through those memories while the lights are still fresh in our minds. Lumphini Park is our green lung in central Bangkok, a place where people usually come to jog, walk, or sit by the lake under the trees. For the fair, it becomes something different, a meeting point for the whole country. But it still begins like any normal day, with people arriving from every direction. Getting here is easy. You can step off the BTS at Saladeng and follow the skywalk towards Rama 4 Road, or come by MRT to Silom or Lumphini and walk straight into the park. There is no entry fee at all. Anyone can come in, wander through the gates and be part of it, whether they plan to spend a lot or just look and enjoy. Before you even see the stalls, you feel the park. The monument, the lawns, the rows of trees, they remind you that this is still a public space, open to everyone. And for a few days each year, it quietly becomes the heart of Thailand's biggest act of organised giving. As the day grew later, the fair slowly woke up. Stalls opened their doors, lights blinked on one by one, and the quiet paths turned into gentle streams of people. It was not noisy or wild, just full of soft energy, like a deep breath after a long, hard year. Above the crowd, one little figure kept appearing. On banners, on badges, on posters by the gates, the same small bird with open wings. His name was Vayu, and tonight he was the fair's guardian bird. Vayu was not a fierce eagle or a scary creature from old legends. He was a gentle wind bird, born from stories that say the wind can carry our prayers and blessings further than any human voice. In Thai, Vayu is the breath of the sky, the soft wind that cools your face, lifts the kites and pushes the clouds along. At this fair, Vayu stood for something very simple. Every raffle ticket, every game, every quiet donation was like a tiny gust of wind. On its own, it did not feel like much, but together, all those small winds could lift someone who could not stand alone. And so, as the lights warmed the dusk and Vayu watched from above, the Thai Red Cross Fair began to feel less like a market and more like a place where kindness was quietly gathering its strength.
Some people say you can tell everything about a country from the way it feeds its guests. If that is true, then Thailand is determined that no one leaves hungry or bored. In Europe or North America, a charity fair might offer a brave lineup of hot dogs, a burger van, maybe a brownie stall if you're lucky. Here at the Thai Red Cross Fair, food section means something entirely different. It feels more like a temporary city built from steam, colour, and impossible smells. On my left, neat rows of sausages, each one turned just enough to catch the light on its skin. On my right, squid and prawns, still smelling faintly of the sea. A few steps further, an entire stall of desserts, each plate arranged as carefully as if it were the only one on the table. Back home, a volunteer might bring a cake in a plastic box. Here, people arrive with recipes that have survived in their families longer than most of us have been alive, then serve them to strangers as if they were honoured guests. Even the drinks refuse to be dull. Roselle, lime, chrysanthemum, butterfly pea, fresh coconut, a rainbow that actually tastes of something. You can feel the quiet message underneath it all. If we are asking you to help, we will also give you our best. Walking that lane, surrounded by smoke and stories, it was hard not to feel hopeful. If people could pour this much care into a single bowl of noodles or a tiny cake, perhaps they could also pour it into looking after one another.
At first, I thought it was just about selling. More dishes, more money, more help. But the longer I watched, the more I noticed the small things. The way each province's stall had its own colours and textures. The way people spoke about their ingredients, as if they knew each chili by name. This was not just food. It was a map drawn in spices and steam, a way of saying, this is who we are, without needing a single word. Some stalls used simple plastic trays, others brought woven baskets from home or plates wrapped in banana leaves. It looked casual, almost improvised, but you could tell somebody had thought carefully. What will keep the curry warm? What will make the sweets feel special but still affordable? It reminded me of the stories of Queen Sirikit, visiting villages, listening to weavers, encouraging farmers and craftspeople to keep their own skills alive instead of copying whatever seemed fashionable from abroad. Not grand speeches, just steady support, the kind that lets people stand a little taller while doing what they already know best. Here on Food Street, that same quiet confidence was everywhere. No one was shouting, "Look how amazing we are!" They were simply cooking, serving, and answering questions with a small smile. If you wanted to know which province the sausage came from, or why the curry was this particular shade of green, they would happily tell you, but they never pushed. And somewhere above the stalls, Vayu's little wings were still spread wide, reminding us that even the smallest dishes, the smallest coins, were part of the same rising breeze.
If the food stalls fed people, the games and lottery kept hope alive. Then there were the soy dao stars, small paper tickets tied to games of chance scattered across the grounds. Spin a wheel, roll a ball, pick a lucky envelope, win a voucher, a soft toy, a cooking pot. The prizes were modest but tangible, the sort of things you might actually use rather than store in a cupboard. One stall attendant told us quietly, "Bring a big bag. Not because you will definitely win, but because if you do, you will want somewhere to put it all." It was advice born from watching years of fairs, not from any official script. Watching people queue for tickets with serious faces and hopeful hands, it was clear the games were never just about luck. They were about feeling part of something that might, just might, change your evening.
Behind all the colour and noise sat something quieter. The machinery that kept 200,000 people safe, fed, and moving in the same direction. More than 200 booths filled the grounds, run by government ministries, universities, hospitals, and private companies. Some offered services, massage stations staffed by trained students, health checks, advice desks. Others ran draws and games to pull in donations. One university booth we passed had a wall of prizes and a calm, efficient rotation of volunteers selling tickets and calling numbers. It looked relaxed, but the organisation underneath was military in its precision. Even the games had oversight. A laser gun shooting range was supervised by uniformed staff, possibly military cadets, who made sure the queues stayed orderly and the equipment stayed safe. The Royal Thai Police were present throughout, not hovering, but visible, a steady reminder that this was a public event under watch. And then there were the bins. Colour-coded waste stations in blue, green and yellow, placed at regular intervals and clearly marked. They were fully used and not just decorative. Small detail, perhaps, but it pointed to something larger. The fair expected
attracted crowds and planned for them. It was easy to get lost in the lights and prizes. What held it all together, though, was the infrastructure no one thought to photograph, until it quietly stopped something going wrong.
The music will fade, and the stages will come down. But what stays is this: a country that knows how to turn sorrow into something useful, without losing sight of either.
We came to see a fair. What we found was a lesson in how a nation grieves together. Not by standing still, but by quietly getting on with the work of caring for one another.
The Red Cross Fair happens every year, but it never quite feels routine. Perhaps because it asks something simple of everyone who walks through, not grand gestures or solemn speeches, just the willingness to turn an event into something that quietly helps someone else. What stays with me is not the scale, or the prizes, or even the food, good as it was. It is the ease with which hundreds of thousands of people simply showed up, knowing their small actions would add up to something that mattered. No fuss, no fanfare, just a quiet thread of generosity woven through the centre of the city. This year carried the weight of saying goodbye to Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, whose life was built on exactly that principle, caring for people she would never meet in places far from palaces. The fair honoured her in the most fitting way possible, not by stopping still, but by continuing the work. For those watching from outside Thailand, this is one answer to the question: what does care look like when a whole country takes part? And for those of us who call this place home, it is a reminder worth holding on to. We do this. Year after year, we do this. Not because we are asked to boast about it, but because it is simply what we choose to do. This is how care looks here.